Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I'm glad you're here. In episode 1, we talked about the emotional weight helpers carry, that dual burden of holding your own fear and uncertainty while supporting others through theirs. Today, we're going a bit deeper into something that sounds simple but feels incredibly hard right now: emotional regulation. Not the clinical version, the real life version. The version where you're running late to a session or to a meeting, your phone is blowing up, your client is in crisis, your nervous system is already feeling stretched thin, and you're trying to stay grounded while the world feels unsteady. If regulation feels harder than usual, that's not a personal failure. It's a nervous system responding to prolonged stress. Of course, none of this information is new to us within the helping profession. These are things we talk about every single day with our clients. But again, when we are dealing with that dual burden of trying to take care of them and take care of ourselves, it becomes harder and harder to work on regulating ourselves. So this episode is about giving you practical, compassionate tools you can use in the moment. Not to be perfect, but to stay connected to yourself, to ultimately practice what we preach. Let's start with something honest and real. Your nervous system is not designed for chronic uncertainty. None of our nervous systems are designed for this. Our nervous system is designed for short bursts of activation, clear threats, and clear endings. But right now, many helpers are living in prolonged ambiguity, ongoing political and social instability, and jobs that are asking us to do more and more with less and less, and even threats against our professions as a whole. We're seeing increased client acuity, increased compassion fatigue and vicarious trauma, sensory overload, and a constant sense of what's next. This creates a nervous system pattern that looks like quicker activation, slower recovery, more irritability and shutdown, more emotional whiplash, more difficulty accessing your skills. It isn't a flaw, it's physiology. And when you understand what your nervous system is doing, you can work with it instead of fighting it. Most helpers cycle through 4 nervous system states during stressful times, not because they're unskilled, but because they're human. And while these states come from the same biology as fight, flight, freeze, and fawn, they show up differently for us as mental health professionals. We're not reacting to physical danger. We're reacting to emotional demand, ethical pressure, and the weight of caring for others. Our bodies use the same wiring, but the context is completely different. Overwhelm is the first one we'll look at. This is the helper version of fight or flight. Your system mobilizes, your thoughts speed up, your breath shortens, and your body prepares to do something. You feel rushed, tense, pressured, scattered, reactive. For helpers, again, the threat isn't danger. It's time pressure, emotional intensity, the dreaded documentation, or the sense that someone needs something from you right now. You're still functioning, still helping, still showing up, but your system is in overdrive. Shutdown is the next. This mirrors the classic freeze response, but in a professionalized way. You feel numb, foggy, disconnected, heavy, unable to start tasks. Your body in this state is trying to conserve energy, and for helpers, shutdown often looks like staring at your screen, knowing what needs to be done, but feeling unable to initiate. It's not about danger, it's about depletion from chronic caregiving. Overstimulation or sensory overload doesn't fit neatly into the traditional 4 responses, but it grows out of the same survival wiring. In this state, you feel irritated, jumpy, sensitive to noise or other sensory input. You may be easily startled, and you're getting to the point or already at the point where you're unable to tolerate any more input. Your system is maxed out. Helpers absorb stories, emotion, tone shifts, and sensory cues all day long. Overstimulation isn't fear, it's saturation. Too much input with not enough space. Spiraling or cognitive flooding is the last state that we'll look at today. This state blends pieces of fight and fawn, the mind trying to regain control, prevent harm, or fix something that feels urgent. In this state, you feel anxious, catastrophic, you may be stuck in loops and unable to access perspective. For helpers, spiraling often sounds like replaying sessions, worrying about client safety long after they've left your space, scanning for mistakes, or mentally trying to solve something long after your workday ends. It's not about appeasing a threat. It's about trying to restore competence and clarity. You might move through all 4 of these states in a single day or in a single hour. These states are rooted in the same nervous system wiring, again, as fight, flight, freeze, and fawn, but they're shaped by the realities of helping work that involves emotional labor, ethical responsibility, and the constant holding of other people's pain. Regulation isn't about avoiding these states. It's about recognizing them and knowing what helps you return to center. With this information in mind, let's take a look now at certain tools that are designed for real life. Tools that can help between sessions, in your car, on the way to work, or on the way home from work. In that quick little bathroom break that you run to between sessions, while sitting at your desk, or even in the middle of a crisis. When you're overwhelmed, slow the output. Try slowing your speech, allowing your shoulders to drop, lengthening your exhale, maybe even placing one hand on your chest and just anchoring yourself with your breath, and saying internally, one thing at a time. Overwhelm is a sympathetic activation state. Your system is speeding up, preparing to act, solve, or respond. When you intentionally slow your output, including your speech, breath, and movement, your body receives a corrective signal that says we're not in immediate danger. This interrupts the momentum of activation. These small, simple little actions downshift the sympathetic system, reduce motor tension, and help your prefrontal cortex come back online. Your body follows the pace then that you set. When you're shut down, add gentle activation. Try standing up, stretching your arms overhead, splashing cool water on your face, taking a slow but quick 30-second walk, and telling yourself, I'm here, I'm coming back to myself. Shutdown is a dorsal vagal state. Low energy, low motivation, low initiation. The system isn't ready for big movement or intense stimulation. Instead, it needs small, safe doses of activation to come back online. Gentle activation increases circulation, wakes up proprioception, and signals to the brainstem that you're safe enough to re-engage. These micro movements help you transition from collapse back into mobilization without overwhelming your system. Small movements wake the system back up. When you're overstimulated, reduce input. So very similar to what we would do if you're feeling overwhelmed, but with slight differences. So try just turning off notifications. Dim your lights. Close your eyes for 10 seconds. Put both feet on the floor and physically ground yourself. And tell yourself less input, more breath. Overstimulation happens when your sensory and emotional channels are overloaded. The system, again, isn't in danger, but it's saturated. Reducing all that incoming information gives your nervous system a chance to process what's already there. These tools decrease sensory load, calm the amygdala, and help your vagus nerve re-establish a sense of groundedness. Your system needs quiet, not effort. When you are spiraling, anchor yourself to the present. Try simple grounding techniques like naming 3 things that you can see. Place a hand on your belly and anchor yourself to your breath or just the physical touch and warmth of your body. Lengthen your exhale in this one as well. Take that time to really allow yourself to breathe intentionally. And say to yourself, I don't need to solve everything right now. As mentioned earlier, spiraling is a cognitive form of fight and fawn. Your mind is trying to regain control by thinking harder, faster, and further into the future. Anchoring interrupts the mental loop and brings your awareness back into your body and into the present moment. Anchoring shifts activity from the threat-focused parts of the brain to the sensory and relational parts. It creates containment, giving you enough internal space for perspective to return. Let's take a look at another technique. This one is, again, tied to a little bit of overstimulation as well as overwhelm. And this is known as the 5% slowdown technique. This is one of the most effective tools for helpers because it doesn't require time, privacy, or perfection. The 5% slowdown means slow your breath by 5%. So this could be taking a longer inhale, a longer exhale, doing both. Slow your speech by 5%. This is one that I often have to do because I have a tendency to talk faster and then I stumble over my words and sometimes slur my speech when I notice that my nervous system is really activated. So taking that moment and really, truly, consciously slowing your speech by just a 5% increment. And also slow your movements by 5%. Give yourself that chance to allow your body to relax by slowing down. So we're not going by 50%. We're not doing like a full meditation to relax the body. We're taking just 5% changes. A 5% shift is small enough that your body doesn't resist it, but it's significant enough that your nervous system notices. It sends a clear message through the vagus nerve. We're not in immediate danger. You can soften. Clients feel it when you do this. Your body feels it, and it's doable in the middle of chaos. So if you need an example of what this looks like, this is when you are responding to someone who's yelling, maybe like a child who's throwing a tantrum. So instead of going louder, you talk softer. And it, again, sets the pace for the room. But you're doing this in just those small little increments to get your brain to slowly start to catch up. Another practice that I really like is the thank you brain practice. This practice interrupts spiraling without shaming yourself. When your brain says, what if everything is going wrong? I can't handle this, I'm failing, right? Those crazy thoughts that sometimes pop into our head. You respond with, thank you, brain, for trying to protect me. Not, stop it, calm down, this is irrational. But thank you for trying to keep me safe. It shifts you from fear to compassion. It softens the internal battle, and it brings your prefrontal cortex back online. Let's do now a quick reset together. All right, and this is a perfect short regulation practice that you can do in the middle of your day or even in between sessions or when you need just that kind of quick reset. All right, so let's start with inhaling through our nose for 4. Take the longer exhale for 6. Now drop your shoulders. If you need to, do a slow roll back. Allow your jaw to unclench, even if that means that maybe you need to force a yawn right now, or just open your jaw and move it back and forth a little bit to allow it to relax and unclench. If your feet are not already flat on the floor, put them there now. And just allow to yourself to feel your feet on the floor. And now say internally to yourself, I can meet this moment. Repeat this if you need to, and let your body settle. Let your breath continue to lengthen. Let yourself come back. Perfect. Take a moment now and just see if you feel any different. Notice any subtle changes that might be occurring right now. And before we move on to our closing, I'd like for you to just kind of reflect a little bit. How might you use any of these practices within your day? Can you identify one that you want to start with? Maybe tomorrow. Maybe sometime this week. What is something that you think you will begin to notice if you take these little tools and take a moment to allow yourself to reset during your day? And lastly, how might you continue to engage in healthy emotional regulation for yourself on a regular basis. If you need a little bit more time to think about these, go ahead and just pause for now and grab a piece of paper, rewind a little bit, write them down, and spend some more time thinking about your responses. But ultimately, thank you. I want you all to thank yourself for taking this time for yourself today. And as you get ready to move back into your day, remember you don't have to be perfectly regulated to be effective. You just have to be willing to take the time to return to yourself. Your nervous system is doing its best. You are doing your best. And you are not alone. I'll see you next time in episode 3. Take care.